Hello, I'm Chief Warrant Officer for Victor Pinion, U.S. Navy, retired, telling my sea stories. This one is a continuation of a bunch of accidents that happened aboard the USS Oriskany, CV-34, while I was stationed aboard her. This story, which I titled Blood, Guts, and Bonechips, is especially gruesome. So if you're squeamish, turn away, because it's really gruesome. I was the catapult captain of the #1 catapult. We were on the line in Vietnam, fighting the Vietnam War. We had made our last launch of aircraft, our last strike for the night, and the recovery from the previous launch is coming in. In other words, the planes from the last airstrike against Norfolk are coming back landing, and they're taxiing on upward as they land. I had maintenance to do on my catapult that night, and I had just dispatched a crew after briefing them in the main control console, which is directly below decks. I just sent them up forward on the catapult. I just sent them topside to go up there and start unbolting some deck plates on the catapult. And I heard an A1 or AD, a reciprocating engine bomber, taxi directly above my head. And then there were some thumping noises. And then the air boss calling Corpsman to Cat 1, Corpsman to Cat 1, Doctor to Cat 1. I think, oh my God, one of my guys ran into that prop. So I ran up there. I had my red flashlight. You couldn't use white flashlights on deck at night. I ran up there expecting that one of my men had ran into that propeller and been chopped up. Well, it wasn't one of my men. It turned out it was an ordnanceman whose job it was to disarm unexpended ordnance from aircraft that was coming back from an airstrike. He had disarmed some under the wings of this one SPAD, as we call them, and he was going back. There had not been one behind it, and he bent over head first, go underneath the tail of this aircraft, and walk right into the propeller of an aircraft right behind it. And it chopped him up, slapped the pieces on the deck, splattered offal, pieces of meat, blood, guts, over everything. All against other aircraft that were parked around there, all over the flight deck, everywhere. We cleaned that up. It took us a couple of hours, as best we could. We picked up, with our bare hands, chunks of meat, shards of bone, slivers of bone, and scooped up mess. It's amazing how much area a human body can cover. In any case, after we had picked up all that we could, we washed the rest of it away with fire hoses. And then we went on and did our maintenance that night and secured. Well, the next morning at about 0900, we were doing the pre-operational inspection on my catapult. And we had to open the nose gear large, Mark 1 nose gear large storage box, which was at the deck edge, and we opened that box. Now the hot tropical sun had been beaten down for hours, and we found the rest of that man's body inside that box, and the stench was overwhelming. I didn't throw up then, but I cannot describe just how gruesome that was. We got it, put it on a Stokes litter, and sent it to sick bay. End of this story.